What's up, guys? So what if episode 7 just dropped? What if Thor were an only child? And it wasn't that good. It wasn't atrocious or anything. It was just hella mid, or maybe even barely mid. Anyways, it didn't surpass episode 3, and of course nothing has even come close to episode 4, the Pixar movie level episode. It does set up something big at the end, and we'll get into that, of course. And once again, I am granted the ability to summarize this episode in one sentence. Although it may be an improper runoff sentence, it'll be a sentence nonetheless. But before we get into all that, make sure to sub to the channel, guys. Turn on your notifications so YouTube can't turn my videos into drags, and you'll actually be able to see them when they drop. Leave a thumbs up, follow my socials, retweet and share if you think I did a good job. Now,
let's party.
okay, summarization in one sentence mode engaged.
America!
So episode 7 is basically a parents going on a trip, kids throw a party gets out of control, parents come back unexpectedly early, kid rushes to clean up before they arrive and avoid punishment. Movie reshaped into a what if Thor episode, just basically with Odin and Odin sleep and Frigga off to her sisters. That's basically it. That's the gist of it. And that was money. That was multiple sentences and I totally screwed that up, but that's the gist of the episode, guys. Seriously, that's all this episode was besides a cameo clusterfuck, which was nice. I like seeing the animated versions of certain characters like Korg and Mantis. It also had a touch of an episode of like death battle in it, you know, like who would win, Goku versus Superman, like that kind of stuff. Instead, in this case, it was Captain Marvel versus Thor going kind of head to head, but not really. Neither of them were really giving it their all because, well, if that were to be the case, they'd probably destroy the planet. But when we're about to find out who the strongest was, Frigga interrupted, which really sucks because I really wanted to know who would be stronger in this scenario in the MCU, because in the comics, Thor is like the strongest of them all. I mean, he is hella stronger than really all iterations of Captain Marvel in the comics. Like, Thor's inclusion in the comics was to have someone stronger than their strongest guy, the Hulk. And in recent comics, they've gone out of their way to make Captain Marvel more powerful than she ever was, or he ever was. I know a lot of people give Captain Marvel shit in the MCU. I have my own issues with the character as she stands in the MCU right now, but I like for characters to be powerful and be able to show out, so long as it's not at the expense of nerfing stronger characters just to prop up themselves. She doesn't need to be the strongest to be badass. She just needs better writing, in my opinion. But otherwise, it was nice to see her, and the battles she had with Thor were actually pretty dope. Seriously, it was a great back and forth. I just wish we got more of it. And honestly, this was almost the same lesson Thor learned in Thor 2011. Like, just because humans are tiny doesn't mean they're important. That whole, I guess, like allegory with the iPad or whatever. It was just like a lesson in humanity as well as in responsibility. And at the end of the episode, we see the first connective threading, which will eventually unite the Guardians of the Multiverse within the last 2 episodes, which is what this episode really had going for it, which was Infinity Ultron showing up with his bots to take shit over at the end. Honestly, I think this episode might have worked better if Thor actually started hurting people and saw the error of his ways through that, which they kind of touched on when he was swinging the hammer and the wind was like kind of disrupting people, but they didn't really go further with that. Like, if his incentive wasn't just to not get in trouble with his mom, but cleaning up because it was truly the right thing to do, I think that would have given the episode a bit more substance, as it felt a little bit superficial. But yeah, all in all, on the positives, I did enjoy seeing the animated version of most of the characters. It was actually pretty funny. Howard the Duck was great, and like when Thor said there's a name for Earth women like you, I thought he was gonna call Carol either a bitch or a Karen, and that would have been something else entirely. It would have been pretty hilarious. It was also nice having Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, and the legendary Mr. Jeff Goldblum, and all the other live action actors who came back to give their voice to this episode. So kudos to them. That was awesome. Episode 7 is definitely at the bottom of my what if episode rankings, and I'm pretty sure a lot of others, but otherwise I was able to enjoy what I could. Next episode is either Tony on Sakaar or Gamora versus Tony Stark, or hell, maybe it's both, but be prepared for another Iron Man death, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on episode 7 as well, where it ranks on your list, and what you're expecting for the last 2 episodes. Do you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? Let me know. That's pretty much it. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want to subscribe, I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.